Hi everyone, I'm Sean Mekie. I'm a pro bridge player and teacher in London, and I'm your pro for the day. So let's get started. Now, nobody's vulnerable. We've only got 11 points, so I'm going to start with a club. And I don't normally like to open balanced 11 counts, but I'm third in seat, and I imagine that the points are relatively evenly spread. Okay, partner's bid a spade, and I'm going to bid a no trump. I'm slightly light on points, but I've got 10-9. I've got a 5-card suit with a 9-8. It's, worse than it could be. Okay, my opponent's overcalled 2 clubs, which is natural. And so basically they think that I have short clubs. Now they couldn't bid 2 clubs the first time because that was probably going to be Michael's, showing the majors 5-5. So they had to pass the first time and wander in with clubs later. So they've got long clubs, but so do I. So I'm just going to pass this and defend 2 clubs with nice long trumps. So I'm perfectly happy in this contract. All right, partners led the jack, so they do not have the queen. Queen jack, they lead the queen. So I could let this run round to the queen and take my ace later, but I only have a doubleton, so I'm not actually necessarily going to do myself any favors by ducking. And there's the possibility that West has a singleton queen of spades. So it would be pretty silly of me not to go up with the ace here. Now, it's not very nice to be sending anything back, really. The diamonds is generally nice to lead from queen jack, but we've got the 10 on the left-hand side, and if we lead the queen, it could go round to the ace, and then they could be finessing our one remaining diamond. So I could be doing myself a disservice by playing that. I could lead a spade to potentially be trying to give myself a ruff later, but left-hand opponent, West, could be over-ruffing me. That's not doing me any favors either. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to lead a heart here, 10 from 10-9. Hopefully my partner has the king, so that at least later I'm not subjecting them to having to lead away from the king of hearts themselves, possibly giving away an extra trick to the opponents. Okay, all going fine so far. Now here, they've roughed the jack of diamonds because they didn't have any more. But it's important that with the queen jack and we're following suit that we just play the jack, so that if they played a higher card than us, the king, partner can think that we might have had the queen there. Okay. I see no reason not to beat this. Let's lead another heart. Get around to partner's possible king. Okay, doesn't look like they do have the king. So the king of hearts is with West. We're not beating this, but we're essentially getting as many tricks as we can. So West just had actually quite a good hand, 15 points and better clubs than we did. So we can't really do much when they get a dummy of 9 points. But c'est la vie. Okay, we've got 20 points, unbalanced. Not quite a 2-club opener, so I'm just going to start with a spade. If partner doesn't have anything, I'm not making anything. All right, partner's bid a no trump. We want to show our hearts to show our 5-4 shape, but we need to force partner into keep going until they get to game. So we're going to jump to 3 hearts, which shows the same shape, but sort of at least 18 high card points, but not enough to have opened 2 clubs in the first place. All right, 3 no trumps. I have nowhere to go over this. They don't have a fit with me in a major. Absolutely fine. Okie dokie. We've got 2 heart tricks, 1 club trick, 1 diamond trick, and 2 spade tricks, giving us 6 tricks. Now, we could potentially rely on the spade finesse working, which will give us the 9 tricks we need. That's slightly putting all our eggs in one basket, which we don't like to do, but I don't really see us building tricks anywhere else, especially when they've led a club and we've only got the 1 stopper, because one of the king or queen is going to lose to the ace, as I imagine it might straight away, yes. And there's too much work to be done in diamonds to try and set that up. So, we are in fact going to go ahead and put all our eggs in one basket. So we're going to go over to the ace. We're going to start doing the spade finesse immediately. Oh, it's worked. So now all we need to do is for them to split well enough. So at least 4-2. And we've run away with all the tricks we need to, which is good. Doesn't really matter what I throw from dummy here. No point in keeping any diamonds or clubs. I'm going to keep the heart anyway, just in case the singleton queen happens to drop. It's never going to happen, but who knows? Okay, we'll just take the king. And then we're going to claim no more tricks, because there's none to be had. 3 no trumps made. That might be the first contract I've actually made during one of these, so new record. Right, balance 13, not particularly interesting, but we have an opening hand. Go for the better minor, so our longest suit is clubs. It does not matter that we have 7 points in diamonds and no points in clubs. It's all about the length. So we just start with 1 club. Partner's bit of spade, very simple. We're going to bid to 2 spades because we've got support for them, and we're still just a minimum opener. Nothing particularly interesting about our hand. Okay, they've raised a game. I'll do. No interest in slam whatsoever. Okie dokie. We have got pretty good spades. We've got a loser in clubs, and we have a loser in hearts, and we might have a loser in spades, depending on where the king is. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and ruff a heart to shorten the spades that are in the north hand. And we're probably going to try and do the same with the clubs. And then we'll try the spade finesse. May or may not work, but we'll have to give up a club trick in the process. But I'm going to deal with the hearts first because I have fewer of them, so it's less likely to be a bit of a train wreck for me. So let's start with the ace and create the void. That way when they're in our hand later, and we can get there with a diamond if we need to, then we can ruff the heart. Okay? So we'll do that. And ruff the heart. Now, we can be left with a club. Well, the problem we're having here is that we want to finesse the spades, and we only have so many entries to the dummy. But if we draw all the trumps, we might not have any spades left in dummy when we suddenly have to deal with the club suit, which means that we could be left with 2 club losers. So what I'd rather do is I'd rather lose the club I have to lose anyway now, and then try and ruff the last one high if they're not splitting 3-3 with the opponents, and sort of give up on the spade finesse just to make sure that I'm making my contract. Okay, So the clubs have split, which means the 7 of clubs is actually a winner. So we're essentially going to give up on trying to finesse the spades, but we've only lost 2 tricks so far. So as long as we don't lose more than 1 spade, going to be all right. Aha. This is not ideal. Okie dokie. So East is sat there with 2 spades and a diamond. This is unfortunate. They have the king of spades and they have a small spade. Now, if I play a spade from the table, what they're going to do is they're going to pop in with the king. Then they're going to play a diamond, which is going to force me to ruff, and then they're going to be able to ruff my club. If instead I play a diamond, they're going to play a diamond, and I'm going to have to ruff it. I can then lead a spade, which they just have 2 spade tricks, or I can play a club, ruff it in the dummy, and then they'll play the 9 of spades, I believe they have. I wasn't actually watching the pips as carefully as I should have done, maybe. But essentially, it's a little bit of a disaster regardless. Oh, they have a heart. What's going on? Oh, okay, I suppose they could have had a heart all along. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to ruff that. We're going to sort of cross-ruff here. Yeah, they did have the 9. So unfortunately, we've actually gone off here, which is annoying. But when the trumps split badly like that, there wasn't a whole lot we could do. We always had the heart loser. We always had the club loser. We had to avoid losing 2 spades, which, well, if we'd done the spade finesse, we'd have found out pretty early on that the spades weren't splitting. And if we wanted to keep doing the spade finesse to lose none of those, we could have ended up with an extra heart loser, possibly. We could have ended up with a club loser if they weren't splitting. And I think the odds of the clubs not splitting is much higher than the odds of the spades not splitting. So 3-2 split, 68% or something like that. Whereas the clubs being 3-3, which is what happened, was only a 35% chance. So we went for the odds, and sadly, no luck. All right, we've got 18 points here. Long diamonds, and partners open a spade. We're just going to start with a 2-diamond bid. See how things go. All right, partner's got 5 spades, 4 hearts. We still have quite a large hand. Now, here, we're going to show our extra length in diamonds to start off with, because we're actually interested in slam already. We just don't know exactly what contract we want to be playing in. So we'll start with this and see what if the partner gives us any more information about their shape. All right, they've bid 3 no trumps. So they're still possibly just along the lines of 12 high card points, right? We've got, what was it, 20. So we're looking kind of at slam here. Now, partner's showing a club stopper, and we've got one as well. Now, we might only be 32 high card points between us, but I think our extra length in diamonds should, hopefully, bring in a lot of tricks for us. So you know what? I'm online. Let's just go for 6 no trumps. There's no glory in just game, is there? Okie dokie. So we've got 3 heart tricks, 5 spade tricks, 3 diamond tricks, and 3 club tricks, except for there's a club lead, which means they're giving us the finesse of the jack. So in fact, we have, how many tricks is that? That is 14 tricks over 13 cards, so we are happy. All we have to do is not mess up our entries to make sure that we can actually get all of these. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start running off the spades. I'm going to throw these low diamonds, which I no longer have any interest in. Okay. And then we're going to unblock the heart suit so that later we can actually win the ace of hearts. Now, while we're over here, we use the diamonds. And then, as you can see, we've just got so many tricks, so many winners. So 6 no trumps +1. Partner had quite a big hand, in fact, 17 count. I think they probably should have put us in 7 no trumps, to be perfectly honest. But what can you do? Okay. We've got a balanced 10 count. Our opponent's opened a spade. Nothing really to say here. We just pass. Partner's already passed as well. Okay. Still nothing to say. We don't have a long suit. Opponent's big clubs, which is actually our best suit as well. Okay. West has shown preference to spades, and they've come in with 3 diamonds now, which means they're going to have extra points. If they were just a minimum hand for their 2 club bid, and partner bid 2 spades, the idea is that they're just going to pass there. So East has actually got a very nice hand now and is showing extra points. We're still just going to pass, nothing else to say. And 4 spades, okie dokie. Now, annoyingly, I'm on lead, so I have to pick something here. And we're not going to lead a spade, because we don't want them to find out where the king of spades is. Hopefully, they have to take a finesse and they get it wrong. It's quite normal to lead king from king-queen, but East has shown a lot of points and they've shown clubs. So the ace of clubs is probably on my right-hand side, meaning that if somebody else leads clubs, I could hypothetically win both the king and the queen. But if I lead the king of clubs, it's going to get beaten by the ace. So I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to give away the position of the queen of diamonds either. Who knows what's going to happen in that suit? Maybe somebody has to finesse there and they get that wrong. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lead a 7 of hearts, second highest from a bad suit, just to try and not give away any free tricks. I might be giving away a trick here, who knows? Dummy's got 7 count. What was the last trick? I didn't actually see. Well, okay, we'll just follow suit. It went away too quickly. Okay, so we are winning our spade here. Now, again, we are going to attempt to not throw away any free tricks. So I'm actually going to lead back another spade, because it seems like the opponents are getting all of the spade tricks anyway. So I'm just going to give them a trick that they're getting, no matter what. That way I'm not giving them any extra tricks, which they might need to actually make the contract. Again, the ace of clubs is probably on my right-hand side, so I still don't want to be leading that. Nothing I can do. Have to play the queen of diamonds, follow. Here, I can throw away a heart, because my hearts are useless, right? But what I don't want to happen is I don't want to be thrown in by winning a club and not have a different suit to exit from my hand, because I'm desperate to win both of those clubs. So I'm actually going to throw away a club and keep 2 hearts just to make sure that I have some way of exiting my hand, okay? Now, I'm in a position where I could be end played soon, which is not very nice. I've thrown away a club. I believe that's the only club they've thrown away so far, so they should still have 3 clubs in their hand, and they're going to have a spade in their hand as well. Now, what they could do is they could lead the jack of clubs to finesse, which won't work, and then I'm going to exit a heart, right? Now, that'll be good for me. He could play a heart, which they'd have to ruff, and then they'd have to lead clubs out of their hand. And I could be end played there, but I need to keep all 3 clubs to avoid one of my king or queen just falling underneath the ace of clubs. Unfortunately, I have to throw away a heart here. Okay, they've taken the finesse and it hasn't worked, but I've kept a heart in my hand to exit, which partner should be able to cover, which they ruff. They then play the ace of clubs, and I get this last club. I've made both my club tricks. So they still made their contract, but I got as many tricks out of this as I could. And often that's just the point. You're not always trying to beat every contract. You're not always trying to make every contract you're declaring. You're just trying to get as many as you can and get the best score out of it if you can. Okie dokie, I think that's us done. At least it was a little bit more successful than last time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.